Yes, hello everyone. Welcome back to AI powered automations tutorial by Nehemiah STEM Research. I am with Donald Hastings, and today I'll be taking you through how to automate data processing and reporting with Google Sheets, how to generate AI-powered summaries and personalize feedback using OpenAI, or what you normally call ChatGPT, create documents in Google Docs automatically, build custom workflows, and that save time and reduce manual tasks. So for this session, it's for my use case today, like my sample use case, if it works best for like teachers or business professionals, or if you're just an automation enthusiast. This tutorial will equip you with practical tools and step-by-step guidance to transform your daily workflows. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you find this helpful. Leave some comments below if you have questions. Alright, let's get started. So what you're seeing here is the make.com platform. It's where we're going to build our automated workflow from. You can sign up for a free account. As you can see, the account I'm using right now is a free one, and this is just like my, should I call it a dashboard? Yeah. And so when you sign up, and when you log in, you can see this button right here in the top right corner, create a new scenario. So the scenario is basically the workflow that we're talking about. The scenario is built up with modules, triggers, or filters. The modules are like the building blocks. The trigger is what sets the scenario in motion. And it's also basically a module. And then filters filter data, but like pass through the different modules. So I'll just click here to create a new scenario. And like I said, my sample use case, I'll probably try and take you through two. The first one will be for a school, a sample school that's going to generate reports for their students, and then we'll see how to send those reports as a PDF to a channel. Let's say the school has a Telegram channel where they send information, so we'll be sending report cards to that channel, and that channel will be on Telegram. So that means we're going to set up a Google Sheet with the students' information, i.e. their names, their grading, so on and so forth. So that's where we'll be pulling the information from to draw up our reports. So we're going to need a Google Sheets module, and then we'll be using Google Documents or Google Docs to generate the report. So yeah, so that's Google Sheets, Google Docs, and then OpenAI to basically power the automation. And then the Telegram. We'll be using a Telegram bot that will be sending the PDF to the channel. So when you click create new scenario, it brings you to this window. This is like your canvas, should I say. You can just click this. So all these are modules or actions that make.com offers. So we need to set up our trigger. Our trigger is for Google Sheets, and we want it to just search rows. Yeah, I'll first close this for now. So I'm going to show you where the information we're going to be getting from, like I said. So let's say the school has this Google Sheets where like say teachers, enter the students' information in, their results. Yeah, so I created this earlier. So the school is called Oaks of Righteousness Academy, and these are the sample students that we're going to be sending reports to. So we'll assume that in the Telegram channel, their parents are subscribed to the channel, or the students themselves, are on that channel. So this is the sheet that's going to be giving us all the data that we're going to be working with. So we have a student ID, student name, class, math. These are the subjects: math, science, English, and then the average. So this is our trigger. We're just going to be searching this entire sheet. So that's why I clicked search rows, and then I'll look for the action of searching. Searching for rows, search rows. And then we have to set up a connection. We're going to connect it to this specific sheet. Yeah. So if I click add, I can sign in with Google. I can authorize via Google. I click this and wait for this window to load. I choose my account where the Google Sheet is. Say continue. So our connection is set up. The search method, it's going to save to or search or select from Google Drive where these sheets automatically save. So on Google Sheets, whenever you create a sheet, they are saved on Google Drive. And then I have to choose the spreadsheet ID. I can just click this drop down, and then it will load all the sheets on my Google Drive, and I'll find it right here. It's called Oaks of Righteousness Academy, as you can see here in its name. So select that, and then we have to choose the sheet name as well. The sheet name is here at the bottom. It's called sheet 1. So when you click that, you can see it's only loading one sheet. So if there was more than, let's say if I added another sheet 2 or sheet 3, and I can reload this. Yeah, okay. It will the load show here. So if I reload this, you can see there's sheet 1 and sheet 2, but we need sheet 1 because that's where the information is. Does the table contain headers? Yes, it does. The column range. So we're going to select A to Z. You don't need to filter out any data. And all these other options, you can leave them as is or empty. You can see there's no asterisks, so they're not essentially required like these. So it will still process. The limit, it's saying the maximum number of return results or bundles. So if you count this, you can see, skipping the header of course, if you count from here to, that means there are five students. So what it's saying is, if I set the number to 1, that means it will process 1 at a go, but I could set it to process all these at once. So if I set it to 5, that means it will process all of them in one like every time I run the scenario, when I click here to run once, when I run the scenario, it will process 5 bundles at a go. So I can set it to 5, or just for the interest, I'll just set it to 3, and then I save. Yeah. So what's our next step? So right now we have the trigger. All it does is it's just going to be searching for rows. So when I click run once, it will search and then bring the data from the sheet. Now, the next module I need to add now is ChatGPT module, and then I'll be prompting it, telling it what to do with that information it gets from the sheet, and I'll be telling it to create a report for these students here. So I just click this plus button, and that's how you add another module. And choose OpenAI. I'm choosing OpenAI because that's where I have some credits. So whenever you're running such, when you're calling these AI agents, it's not like when you're prompting it on their platform, you need some credits on your account to generate completion. So it requires tokens. So I'll show you how to do that later, but what you should do now here from this stage is to, after selecting ChatGPT, what we're doing is we're creating a completion or a prompt or a chat, for a prompt or a chat. So that's the action, the mode of action we're using here in this scenario. So if I click that, sorry, just reduce the size. Okay. So again, you have to set up your connection. You click add. So it will ask for your API key. You can click this link. That's why it will redirect you to get your OpenAI API key. And that's the same place where you add some few dollars so that you can get tokens to create completions. You can continue with Google. Yeah, so these are a bunch of keys that I've created in the past. I could use the same or create a new one. So if I click create key, I'll pull this aux. And then copy this and then take it back here. This is where I'll paste it. And then save. So if we just go back here to show you where you So you can see I have about $60 on my account. It's a pay as you go, so it's not monthly. They don't charge you monthly. You just put in a certain amount. Yours could be $100 or more. So every time your agents are called and they're using tokens, this figure will reduce. So this is, you can see here, add credit to balance. So you select the amount and then you add your payment method. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So let's go back to setting up a scenario. So you set up the connection with the API key we created. The method, we chose it at the beginning of setting up this module. And then we have to choose a model. ChatGPT has a bunch of models that they released. So if you have a general knowledge of what the models are best used for, you could just choose any. Okay, not just any, but I'll just go with this one. So some models are best for like specific tasks. They have models that are best for coding, others are best for creating summaries, that sort of thing. So you could get some information. So the max completion tokens, like I said, this is now like where I have to be wary of how much money I'm using from my account. So 2,000 seems like a lot, so I'll reduce this to 500 so that it doesn't use a lot of my credit when it's generating its completion. And then now I click add message and set the row to user. And then when I click text content, this is where now I'll be telling the AI what to do with the information it receives. So when I click here, you can see this window has popped up showing the information from the Google Sheets. So you can see here the headers are here. The student's ID, the student's name, the class, the subjects, average, etc. So I had written down a prompt earlier just to save time. I'll just copy this and then modify it from here. So the prompt is, this is what I'm telling the AI module or agent what to do. Generate a personalized progress report for student name. So now the student name, I have to map it from here. So I click that and then comma class, click that and highlight strength in subjects where they scored more than 90 and suggest one or two growth areas. And then I'm giving it a tone to use. So these language models or language processors can use natural language basically when you're prompting it. So if I told it to use a hash tone, it would still use a hash tone. Like if you want to be a strict teacher in this scenario. But I've told it to use an encouraging academic language. And then I'll tell it more information it may need to create its completion. So I'll give it let's say the subjects plus the subjects, that's where the scores are, yeah, and then the average, and then when I'm telling it to use this name as the teacher, it's the teacher's name. So that's my prompt. That should be enough. I can click save. So now we need to create the document now. So information, this searches this file, passes that data into this module. We've told the module what to do with that information. Now we need to create a document. So the document is a report, right? So when you click add, you can search for docs, Google Docs. So we look for the action, create a document, and it says create a new document, a new Google document by adding the content of HTML format. So if I click this module, I can now set up the connection again. So the name of the file, I'll just be a bit clever with this. So I'll use the student's name and then write progress report. And then the content of the file will be what ChatGPT generates. So I'll look for the bundles from ChatGPT. I'll go to choices and then message and then content. So whatever ChatGPT generates, that's going to be the contents of this document. And then where it's going to save, of course, my drive, the location. Yeah, I created a folder called reports in my Google Drive. And I'll save. So we have 3 modules now. This searches this file in Google Sheets. This basically generates the progress report for the students. This creates that document or that report. And then now, how are we going to send it to, the students or the parents of the students? So let me now take you to Telegram and then show you how to set up the bot and the channel of the school, and then add that bot to the channel. So the bot is the one that's going to be sending in the report. So I'll search for bot further. Let's first create the bot. I can use this command. I'll call it righteous report. So we have created a bot with basically 3 a command, the name of the bot and the username of the bot. So this command is what creates or starts the process of creating a new bot. So just maybe to go back a few steps, when you go to Telegram and search bot further, you make sure it's the one with the blue check mark. When you click on it, there will be a button here saying start, and when you click start, then it will guide you on how to set up the bot. It will show you the commands that you can use to activate it, to tell you what to do. So maybe if you have, I could show you here, let's say you have many bots This command is what shows you or edits all your other bots. Set name, if you want to change the bot's name, set name, yeah, and so on and so forth. So this is the message confirming that we have a bot. This is where we find it. So if we click this link, it will take us to the bot, and then this token here is what we're going to use to access it from make.com. This token or this key, so I have to copy it, and or I can just come back and click here and copy. But if you see here, if I click it, it's copied to my clipboard, so I'm going to use it later. So I can click here, and you can see there's a start call to action here, start. So now it's active, but it still can't do anything because we haven't powered it. So it's called righteous report, as you can see. So now let me create the channel for the school. Create. Right, so this link here is available. This is what we're going to use also later, but I'll show you when we're setting up the Telegram bot, the one that will be sending in the PDFs to this channel. So I'll click save. Now I need to add the bot to this channel, so I can just search. Right, it's called righteous. Yeah, it's here. And then I add. So I have to make it an admin, as you can see. Bots can only be added to channels as admins. Why it needs to be an admin is because it will need access to messages. So if it doesn't have access to messages, it won't be able to send in messages, i.e. the attachments with the PDF. So I make as admin, save this. So we have our channel. 2 subscribers, well, that's basically the administrators, and that's me, the creator, and then the bot itself. Right, so now let's set up that. Back to our scenario here. So I add another module, Telegram. You can search for it as well. Now, because we're not just sending a text message, but we're actually sending a file or an attachment, I have to look for the action where, okay, I've actually missed a step, sorry. Right now, all this is doing is it's searching this sheet. The AI agent generates the report information. This creates the document. Now we need to be able to get the PDF. So I'll select Google Docs again, and then come to download. Yeah, so it's going to be downloading it as a PDF. Yeah, I click PDF. Now the document ID, what document are we sending? So basically which documents are we going to be downloading? So I have to map from here I just toggle this map and then I'll choose the previous one. That means every document that Google Docs module, the previous one, creates, we just need the ID and then it will be downloading the PDF form, which we've done here, PDF. These are document formats, so it can be a Word document, but I want it to be in PDF. And then I'll save this. Right, so again we search the Google Sheets. This, with the prompt, creates a report. That content of the report, basically the AI report, is then used here to create a report file. This then creates it in a PDF form or downloads it, and then here then now is where we'll add a Telegram bot to be sending that PDF to the channel. So again, like I was saying, we need to look for the action where it attaches a file. Yeah, so here you can see send a document or image. It's under media. Now I need to set up the connection as well. So I'll click add. So if you remember the token I was talking about that I copied, yeah, it's still on my clipboard. I was just checking. So the connection name, just because I have a lot of scenarios in my dashboard, I'll just name it so that for easy access, or so that I don't get them confused. And then I'll replace this from the previous scenarios I made with the actual token, which is this one. And I'll save that. And then the chat ID. So that's basically how we're making sure we're sending it to the right chat. So the ID, it could be in the format of a username or an ID. If you look at our previous videos on automation, sometimes it's a digit, but here we're going to use the username of this channel right here, Oaks School. I'll copy that, and then you can see it has to be in this format, at. So I need the at sign or at symbol. Oh, sorry. Message thread ID, this is not as important. Then send by, data, so we need to send it as that data. So as you can see, it's the default option. And then the file, yes, the Google Docs download document. So it's following the previous module, that's why it's showing it here already. And then we can add just a caption, basically to spice up the message so that it's not just a blank report. So we could even add the student's name. Yeah, so I'll say hello, and then I'll look for that bundle with the student's name here, here, with your progress report for the previous term. And yeah, just like that, we're done. So I can save that. I have to make sure this warning isn't there, so I have to check and see if everything that is required is there. It's there. We'll save. Okay. Now save this. So yeah, this is our scenario now. It's complete. Now we just need to test and see that it's working as we've set it up. So I can just click run once. So yeah, we already have one. So if I open this, you can see it has sent in, it has finished for Suvi Grace as well. So if I download this and open it, let's see if it will. Okay. Yeah, so this is basically what ChatGPT or the agent has. All this is, so the agent, like I said, powers the entire workflow. So this is what ChatGPT has created as a report. I don't know if you could read this. Yeah, it listed the strengths. So this is basically from what I told it to use an encouraging academic tone. So just to make sure that each student is getting exactly, if I download for Sui, what will it say? So you can see it's different. That means it's mapping the data correctly for each specific student. And now that has taken us how many minutes? About 20 or 25. So you're wondering maybe why it's only doing 3. So like I had showed you earlier, right here, we set the limit to 3. So I'd have to run the scenario again so that it can process the other 2 for the other 2 students. Okay, it's redoing the 3 again. That's not how we want it to work. I'll just set it to 5. So I have an idea here. Let me see what it will do if I tell it to be harsh and strict. I just want to see what run this. This is going to be interesting. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Areas demanding immediate improvement. So yeah, you could play along with, the tone and how you prompt the agent. Basically, the more detailed your prompt is, the more detail you get. Yeah. I don't know if we have time. I could do another scenario, a similar one, but for a company and its clients, because I have another sheet, a sample use case I've created. Yeah, I guess there's no time, but I hope you have learned something. So basically, the other use case was this. It's a company called Next Tech Solutions. Yeah, so this is a sheet where their clients are basically giving feedback summary on their satisfaction with the tools that the company has given them or created for them. So we'd also be creating reports, feedback reports, basically for these specific clients. Same workflow, would add or create a channel or a Telegram group, add the bot there. Tell ChatGPT what to do with this information right here. Then create the reports, download the document, depending on your preference. Could be a Word document or a PDF, and then send it back or send it as a message and an attachment to the Telegram group. Yeah, then for because you want it to be automated, this is where you adjust. Now you could set it to run every day, so that means every day it will run once. You could set it to at regular intervals, so that means every 15 minutes. So every time someone adds something here, it will then process that data. Otherwise, thank you for joining us. My name is Moise Donald Hastings from Nehemiah STEM Research. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tune in for more automated workflow videos in the coming weeks. Thank you. Have a blessed evening.